Today is Friday, March 8th, 2019, and this is Journal 8 of the spring 2019 semester of my junior year. So this journal is going to be mostly just me discussing why I chose what to research this semester. Our journal asks us what is our actual little clinical question, and my question is, does the menstrual cycle make female athletes have a higher incidence for knee injuries when compared to male athletes? My P is female athletes, my I is the menstrual cycle, O is knee injuries, and C is male athletes. The second question is what inspired this investigation. So last semester I did my other little clinical question on patellofemoral pain syndrome and why there was a higher incidence for females than males. So my questions are a little similar between the 2 years. I'm just going into depth more this time with one section of data that I found. So it's more of a continuation. So last semester when I did the research on the patellofemoral pain syndrome, I found some data suggesting that the menstrual cycle and your hormone changes in two of the phases, the early phase and the late phase, when your hormones go really low and then shoot really high, they change the firing rates of the vastus medialis and vastus medialis oblique. So that would make, they were hinting that that would make females more susceptible to patellofemoral pain syndrome. But I only got to read a couple articles about the menstrual cycle because my question was mostly looking at biomechanics and just, normal anatomy, things that you couldn't change. So this question is about like maybe a non-modifiable risk, but there is some stuff coming out talking about females taking oral contraceptives like birth control to try to change the cycle, so it may turn into being a modifiable risk factor. I don't know if anytime soon it would change, but once I saw that this was another thing, because last semester my question was mostly based on the Q angle and things like that and how that caused instabilities, which is another thing that we really couldn't change either. So this semester, more into just the menstrual cycle, just one factor of why females are more prone to some knee injuries. Although last semester I only looked at patellofemoral pain syndrome or anterior knee pain, this semester I have already seen that most of the studies is for knee injuries, mostly involve capsular injuries and ligament injuries. So the majority of my research will be on those injuries primarily. And also, another thing that inspired me is we actually have an athlete that had torn their ACL last semester, and when I talked about what I had found out last semester, discussing with my preceptors about some new information that I didn't think was real, and I got everyone to read it in the clinic. One of my preceptors last semester, but is now my preceptor this semester, had an athlete that was on her last couple of days of her period when she tore it, and now, could this play a factor into why she did it, or why this happened? Because she doesn't remember if it was contact or non-contact, but from what the opposing player said, that it was non-contact, which is when most of this stuff happens. most of the studies have said that most of the injuries are non-contact during the menstrual cycle. Most of the knee injuries, anyways. So the last question is, who is on my investigation committee? My preceptor that has that athlete is really interested in this as well as I am. So Chapin is my preceptor, and she is going to be my athletic training advisor on my committee, as well as Beth Funkhauser is on my committee, just to oversee things. And I also have a physical therapist of Matt Harris in there, because I know that shadowing him once before, he had some knee injuries. And also, it's just really cool data. He also is a certified AT. It's just cool to know, because there's a lot of stuff coming out, but no one has really read or heard about it except for a couple people that I've talked to. So I'm excited to see where this goes and see what I find out. But yeah, so that is my little clinical question.